You can watch hours of videos, highlight an entire book, and still feel unprepared on exam day. The problem is usually not effort. It is studying without a map. Security Plus, Network Plus, and CH overlap, but they test different breadth, language, and application. Your first step is to verify the exact exam version you booked, download its official objectives or blueprint, and turn that document into a measurable study plan. This video compares the 3 paths, builds one 6-week example, explains active recall and lab practice, and shows how to protect yourself from brain dumps and exam scams. It cannot guarantee a pass, and exam codes, prices, policies, domains, and retirement dates must be checked on the vendor's official site before scheduling. Clear certification explainers begin with the candidate's problem, reveal one study decision at a time, compare exams without declaring a universal winner, and return to a practical schedule. Diagrams make invisible learning visible: objectives, recall, labs, practice results, and revision. We adapt only those general teaching techniques. This script, study example, diagrams, artwork, thumbnail, branding, and scene composition are original to CipherVibe. Here is the analogy. The official exam blueprint is a flight plan. The domains are waypoints. A diagnostic test shows your current position. Lessons and notes provide navigation data. Labs are simulator time. Practice exams are rehearsal flights under realistic constraints. Your error log is the maintenance record. Buying more study material without consulting the blueprint is like adding fuel without checking the destination. A high practice score achieved by memorizing repeated questions is like rehearsing one runway. It may fail when the conditions change. Network Plus focuses on network concepts, implementation, operations, security, and troubleshooting. It is useful when weak networking fundamentals make every security topic harder. The current CompTIA version should be verified as N10-009 before purchase. Security Plus covers broad security concepts, threats, architecture, operations, and governance. It is often a sensible foundation for defensive, administrative, and risk-aware roles. Verify that your voucher and material match SY0-701 or the current successor. CHV13 presents a wide ethical hacking curriculum and, depending on the product, knowledge, practical, lab, engage, and competition components. The official page currently describes a 4-hour, 125-question knowledge exam and a separate practical path, but eligibility, package, and award details must be verified for your region. Choose Network Plus when network reasoning is the gap. Choose Security Plus for broad baseline security knowledge. Consider CH when an employer specifically values it and you have a legitimate, isolated environment for authorized practice. A credential is a signal, not permission to test systems or proof of production experience. Copy every official objective into a tracker. For each one, record your confidence and the evidence behind it. Green means you can explain and apply the idea without prompts. Amber means recognition is stronger than recall. Red means you cannot yet produce a correct explanation or action. Do not mark an objective complete because you watched a lesson. Use verbs. Can you compare protocols, interpret a diagram, choose a control, diagnose a symptom, or explain why an answer is safer than the alternatives? Begin with a short diagnostic built from legitimate material. The score is less important than the pattern. Tag every miss as knowledge gap, misread question, weak reasoning, time pressure, or careless change. Then prioritize weak domains according to the current official weighting. Your matrix prevents 2 traps: repeatedly studying favorite topics and confusing familiarity with retrieval. Update it from evidence, closed book recall, a safe lab, a scenario explanation, or a fresh practice set, not from mood. Use a repeatable learning loop. First, learn a small objective from an authoritative source. Second, close the material and retrieve the idea from memory. Third, apply it in a diagram, configuration review, packet trace, or isolated lab. Fourth, explain the decision in plain language. Fifth, retest later with a fresh question. Flashcards work best for facts, ports, terminology, and contrasts, not entire paragraphs. Scenario questions require relationships. Draw how identity, network, endpoint, application, data, detection, and response components interact. Space reviews across days. Mix related topics, so you must identify the problem rather than repeat one method. Keep sessions focused, then take breaks and sleep. Exhaustion creates the illusion of study time while reducing useful recall. For performance-based questions, practice reading the goal, inventorying evidence, making the smallest justified change, and validating the result. Never practice intrusive techniques against public or employer systems without explicit written authorization. For Network Plus, repeatedly draw small topologies. Trace a packet through switching, routing, addressing, name resolution, wireless, and common services. Use symptoms to test from physical connectivity upward while staying flexible when evidence points elsewhere. For Security Plus, build comparison tables for controls, authentication, cryptography use cases, architecture, incident response, resilience, and governance. Practice choosing the best control for a stated business and technical constraint, not simply the strongest sounding technology. For CH, connect phases and techniques to authorization, scope, detection, prevention, evidence, and remediation. Use only vendor labs or isolated systems you own and intentionally configured for practice. Study countermeasures alongside offensive terminology. Do not create or distribute reusable payloads, steal credentials, clear logs, or attack external targets. The shared foundation is networking, operating systems, identity, protocols, risk, and clear reasoning. The emphasis changes. Network Plus explains connectivity, Security Plus explains protection and operations, and CH frames authorized adversarial assessment. Jordan is preparing for Security Plus after working in technical support. A legitimate diagnostic shows strong endpoint basics, amber networking and identity, and weak governance and incident response sequencing. In Week 1, Jordan maps the official objectives and repairs only the networking concepts required by the blueprint. Week 2 covers identity, cryptography use cases, and security architecture with diagrams and closed-book explanations. Weeks 3 and 4 emphasize operations, synthetic alerts, incident steps, recovery decisions, change control, and risk scenarios. Every missed question enters an error log with the reason, the corrected rule, and a new example. Week 5 mixes domains under timed conditions. Jordan practices performance-based scenarios and checks whether scores remain stable on fresh material. Week 6 reduces new content, revisits red objectives, rehearses the exam interface and logistics, and protects sleep. If Jordan instead chose Network Plus, the schedule would add more topology and troubleshooting repetitions. For CH, it would add authorized range practice and methodology with strict scope boundaries. The calendar adapts to evidence. It does not blindly divide pages by days. Practice exams have 3 jobs: expose gaps, train timing, and test readiness. Use them after enough learning to make the diagnosis useful. Simulate the actual environment and do not pause to look up answers. Review every miss and every correct guess. Explain why the best answer fits the objective and why the alternatives do not. If a question is ambiguous or poor quality, compare it with the official objective rather than memorizing the vendor's wording. Do not take the same test until the score becomes a memory test. Rotate legitimate, fresh sets and leave time between attempts. Readiness is a pattern, stable performance across domains, manageable timing, clear reasoning, and no unexplained red objectives. Set your personal threshold before the final days, but do not claim it predicts the vendor's scaled score. Scoring methods and passing standards belong to the certification provider and may change. The biggest study mistakes are using outdated objectives, collecting too many resources, passive rereading, ignoring performance tasks, memorizing acronyms without relationships, and booking before a readiness pattern exists. Brain dumps are another risk. Sites may sell recalled or stolen exam content, deliver malware, harvest payment data, or train you to recognize answers without understanding. Using unauthorized material may violate candidate agreements and can threaten a result or certification. If a resource promises exact live questions, avoid it. Buy vouchers and training through official or verified channels. Use a unique password and multi-factor authentication where available. Confirm remote proctoring system requirements and privacy terms before exam day. Do not install an exam helper, share your screen with a stranger, or send identity documents through an unverified link. For CH Labs, authorization is non-negotiable. A certification lesson does not expand your legal scope. Keep labs isolated, use synthetic accounts, preserve logs, and stop when the written scenario ends. Fact-check retake rules, identification, scheduling, accommodations, country availability, renewal, and continuing education requirements directly with the provider. Here is the certification prep checklist. Choose the exam that matches the role and current gap. Verify the exact code, blueprint, policies, eligibility, and retirement timeline on the official vendor site before buying anything. Turn objectives into a matrix. Diagnose your starting point. Prioritize weak, important domains. Use the loop: learn, recall, apply, explain, and retest after a delay. For Network Plus, trace networks and troubleshoot from evidence. For Security Plus, connect threats, architecture, controls, operations, and governance. For CH, pair methodology with countermeasures and practice only in explicitly authorized labs. Use practice scores as sensors. Review correct guesses, rotate fresh material, and require stable reasoning, not one lucky peek. Protect your identity, payment information, exam account, and professional integrity. Avoid brain dumps and guaranteed pass claims. Remember the flight plan. The blueprint defines the route, diagnostics locate you, labs provide simulator time, practice exams rehearse the flight, and the error log keeps the system reliable. Pass or fail, the goal is not merely to recognize answers. It is to explain and apply the underlying ideas safely. Copyright 2026 CipherVibe. All rights reserved.